proved to be quite important, and I'm going to hide this. All right. So this was what I found. We were on these other details, and we were trying to move total sales into orders, and we just could not do it. The formula seemed not to be working, okay? But then I did something. I don't know if I've removed it, because most of the things I did on here somewhere, I removed them so that I could start again today, you know. I did a couple of lookups here and there and found that some worked. Then I started, you know, studying why did some work and why did others not work? And this was what I found out. Let's go back to our ERD. And this is why I said the concept of understanding ERD is really very cogent to our work. If you don't want to call it ERD, you can call it the data modeling side of things in handling data. It's really very important. We talked about the relationships. I just kept, you know, hammering on how employees is directly linked to others, and others is directly linked to other details, because we can find employee ID in employees table and also in others table. You know, so we understand all of those, how they link and how and what they link by, which is all these IDs in the middle, okay? But what I failed to mention is the direction of flow. When they link, how does data move from one table to the other? There is an order to it, and which really is very important. Someone mentioned something really important during one of the lessons. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. And that's the concept of understanding what one-to-many relationship means, okay? One-to-many relationship is what we always aim to get with our data. One-to-many meaning a one table is linked to a many table. We understand what one table means. That is, it's where your unique record appears just once. For example, employee table, like we saw yesterday. On employees table, employee ID is very unique. So each record is a unique row. Each row rather is a unique record. Okay, so this makes this a one table, apologies. But when this employee ID gets here into orders, it becomes many, okay? So the relationship between this employee and this orders table is a one-to-many. And how that works efficiently is that data flows from the one table into the many table, okay? Trying to move data from the many back into one can prove difficult, okay? So it's hard to see it here, but when we understand this very well, thank God Mr. Azim posted something on the platform yesterday around how to, you know, use this power pivot in Excel. We will also learn how to use that, okay? So now let's see how this works in the real sense, okay? So what that means is that I cannot bring, I should not be attempting to bring a data from orders, which is many, into employees, which is the one. It should be the other way around. And that is how I have worked, I have found it to work. And I would love for us all to go actually try these out, just to be very sure that, you know, that knowledge is what it is, and we can, you know, really hold on to it as dear as possible, okay? So let's bring from products table. I want to bring, so I've got product ID here on these other details. And I've also got products. I've also got products. So that is, if I need the product name column to come into order details, okay, I need I can do that easily. Let's try it. So I'm bringing product name into order details using VLOOKUP. Okay, so I did this yesterday and it worked perfect. I'm just putting my keyboard in so that I can type. Okay, here we go. So you're going to talk me through this formula. I'm glad we did it many times yesterday. So we should all be used to how the formula, goes sequentially now. Because VLOOKUP, please unmute and let's do this together. VLOOKUP.
So are we looking up for the product?
Yes, we are.
So product ID.
Product ID, just that, comma.
Then we go to the product table.
Product table. And I'm picking all of it.
Select everything.
Okay, comma.
Okay, we don't need to lock it because it's a table, right?
Yes, we can't really lock it in this instance.
Okay, it's a table, okay. Then, so we want to look for the product name, right?
Yes.
So that's the second column.
Yeah, so number 2, column index there is number 2, comma.
We want the exact match.
Which is a 0. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's okay that. And voila, we have it. Okay, so I've not changed the workbook. It's still the same workbook that we thought was faulty yesterday. It's not faulty, So we can name that products name. Okay. All right.
Just before you go too far, Sister Debbie. So what you're trying to say is that what we were doing yesterday, we were trying to move many into one.
Is that what you were? We were going in the opposite direction.
Oh, that was why we had the difficulties.
That was why it wasn't going to work for us.
Fantastic. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
You're welcome. One other thing that I didn't mention about how we understand this is that, so now we said we are bringing everything into order details. Everything we need, not everything that we are going to need to solve the problem that we are solving, we are bringing it into order details. Remember that we've done total sales in order details. So we should be able to use this to, solve most of our problems because we need all of these, facts here. Okay. So what that tells me then is that I've got total sales and my first requirement is I need total sales split by customer name. Okay. The only table here with the customer name is the customers. How do I then, understand how to get customers into order details? I would have to do that by studying how the flow goes in my entity relationship diagram. Okay, so where is customers here? Customers is directly on orders. Okay, customers is directly on orders. It's not really directly linked to order details. So which means I'm going to need to bring those customer names into here first before I bring it into here. That's how the journey goes. This is not going to, nothing is going to jump from here straight down here because there's no direct link. However, there's a bridge here that they can use, and that is this table. So my first VLOOKUP would be, bring the name here, and then from here, transfer here because this is linked to this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, slowly is making sense because the tables must need to talk to each other.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, they have to be
So
related to work. Yeah.
exactly. So look at products here. Because it is directly linked to other details, that's why we could bring that name in straight away. But if product details from product was needed in orders, it means after doing the first VLOOKUP in here, then I would need to do the second lookup in here if that direction of flow was right. That direction of flow is not right, so we won't be needing to do that, but I'm just using that to explain. If I needed supplier name, okay, how this would work is that I will get the supplier into products first, then from products, get it into order details. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does to me to some extent. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Any other person getting it?
Yes, because there's no direct link between suppliers and other details, I think.
Yes, thank you. So there are two major takeaways from today's lesson is to understand the flow of direction. That is our one-to-many relationship. You know, do your VLOOKUP from one going into many, not the other way around. Okay, from a dimension table into your facts table. Okay, and then if there is no direct link, that tells me I've got to look for a table that has the direct link first and find the table that links into that, you know. And this is why we need to have this diagram drawn, however we draw it, okay, just so we can make a good sense of things. I mean, technology has made life a lot better now. You know, even in Excel, there are features that can help us. But when we understand this, like I always say, then even those features, when they mess us about, we can always manipulate them as well, because we have deep understanding of what we are doing with them. Okay, so now I need to get customer's name into here and then into other details. Let's move. Okay, now my customer name is this contact name here, these names, okay, and it's going to be number 3. So here we go. I need to put it in orders first because I've got a customer ID, you know, which is directly linked to this customer ID here. Okay, and then we can do the second VLOOKUP, bring it into here. If we are able to do that, we can always quickly, you know, answer our first question. Okay, so I'm just going to, I mean, you can put you don't have to put your column here. You can put it anywhere, but I think it will be fine to have it here. So let's see this again. Please unmute and let's do this together because VLOOKUP. What's our lookup value for customer?
Customer ID.
Customer ID, comma.
Then we go to customer table.
We go to customer table, and then
select the whole table.
Yeah, select the whole table. Control Shift side arrow and down arrow to pick all of it, comma. Then, and it's number 3, isn't it? Is it number 3?
Table as okay. If you move to the cursor below, just the cursor below. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. No.
Oh, sorry. 3 is the title. Contact name is 2, isn't it?
Yeah. No. If you scroll below, yeah, that's what I wanted. I can't see the whole table. So it's 1, 2, 3.
3. Okay.
No. Is it customer name you said, right?
Yeah, that contact name there is the name.
Not the company name.
No. Let's use their actual names.
Actual names, okay.
Yeah, which says contact name there. 3,
Okay.
then comma,
Zero.
exact match is 0. So we close that up and we enter that, and we've got our names there. Okay. I won't go through cleaning up the formulas in this case, because we know we need to do that anyway. Okay. Just so we can move fast. Is that okay? We know how to Control C and paste values if we don't want to leave a formula in. But in this case, I'll leave it in just for reference if we need to refer to anything. Okay. So on this table now, we can name this, should we say contact name still or customer name? Customer name, contact name, what should we use?
Contact name, I think.
Okay.
Because I think the company is the customer, and the person to contact within that company is this name.
Okay, so that makes perfect sense to me.
So because we are selling to the company, but we need a point of contact within that company, and that's this person that we are dealing with.
Yeah.
It should have been the other way around. It should be the company name
that we use.
Because we are selling to the company.
Yeah. Okay. And that says the customer, which is the contact name anyway. So.
Well, no, which is the company name?
Which is the company? Oh my goodness. Okay. so it should be the company that we bring forward.
Yeah, okay. not the contact, because we are not selling. The person is only acting on behalf of the company.
Right. I perfectly get you now. I did not get you before. I thought I did. Okay. But what we can then do is come here and change this to 2, because what we need to bring in or to change there, the only change we need is change this to company name, which is the column 2, not 3, right? So
yes, ma'am. Column 2, yeah.
Yeah, so we can then just change from 3 to 2 here, and we'll still be fine. As a matter of fact, this is one quick way to quickly just get over all your VLOOKUPs, and you can just copy if it's relevant to same and it's just the column that's different, you can always just copy and paste and change the column index there and get the right column in, just to make life easy. Okay, and that is the customer. We can change this to customer name, just to make it more relevant with the question we are answering. Customer name. Okay. All right. Okay. So, but that's first step, because then this needs to move from here into other details, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can then go here and bring it in. And why we are doing that again is because we've done the first step. I'll always come back here so that we continue to remember. We brought customer, we need customer's name to come from here into other details. But at the moment, we managed to get it into others. That's what the first VLOOKUP we have done. Now we want to get it into other details where we actually need it, the final destination of it. That's what we are doing now. So equals VLOOKUP again. And our value here in this case is order ID, because that's what links our next 2 tables together. Okay. So order ID, comma, our table array is
the orders table.
The orders table. Okay.
We select everything.
Select everything, comma. And then our column index on this one, what's our column index? Is 3. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it's 3. So 3, 0. By the time you've done this a couple of times, it becomes really really very easy to just, keep moving on with it. Okay, to do it very quickly. And this is customer name here again, which is the same as the company name, by the way, like it was said earlier. Okay, so right now for question 1, we need total sales split by customer name. So if we remember our pivot table, we done pivot table before, I hope we remember pivot table. If we decide to quickly pivot, pivot table this, let me see if my sheet 1 is free so we can bring the pivot table here. Okay, so if we, okay, talk me through how to get pivot table done here, please. We want to pivot table this table so that we can see how our total sales corresponds with our customer name. What should I do?
Click on insert.
Insert.
Click on pivot table.
Pivot table.
Uh,
it brings this dialog box.
New worksheet.
No, I want to have it on that sheet 1. So I'll say existing one because it's already existing. It's blank, but it's existing. So I'll say sheet 1, and it's asking for the location. So I'm going to click on this and bring it here and say, this is my location. Okay. Then I can expand this again and say, okay, at some point we'll talk about this. This is where we get to do that data model that Mr. Azim, showed us on the platform, but we'll get there as well. Let's understand this simple part of things first. Okay, so, okay. And here we have it, it's brought it to our sheet, okay. If I didn't have that sheet 1 opened, I would tell it to put it on a new one, okay. So here we are, we've got our pivot table, okay. Normally, I always just quickly come here to organize my data here, A to Z, okay. There's a column 3 that's not named. Let's see what that column 3 is. It's brought something just as column 3. So if I go back in there and see what column 3 is, did I hide something?
No, column 3 is blank.
Right, that one. Okay, all right. Let me delete it for now. Oh no, actually I'll leave it. It will always get refreshed, later. So we go back to here and we want to see our customer name by the total sales. What should I do here?
So click on customer name.
Customer name.
Then click on total sales. And
click on total sales. So you can click, you can drag if you want. It will, and if where it has put it, this is all right. But if where the position you find your whatever you have chosen is not what you want, you can always drag it to wherever you want it to be dragged to, if that's what you wanted. If I wanted my customer name to form columns, I can always do that. Or if I want it to be on filter, okay, such that when I filter here, I can filter by, okay, what did Alfred have? I can say, okay, that, and it will bring that for just Alfred's, whatever that is. If I want to be able to select multiple, I'll just click on that and select more for like 3 of them, and it brings the total for those 3. If that's what you want. So you can always manipulate, things around however you want it, is my point there. But I'll drag this back because that's the way we want it. So we can, again, change this to, double click this and change this to customer name. And yeah, we can call this just total sales as well. Total sales, and we can format it. If you didn't want sum, we can change the calculation basically, but sum is what we want here because it says total, okay? If we wanted to format that, let's say we wanted to give us decimal places, or we don't want the decimal places. So let's say we wanted a cleaner table than that, okay? So we can always do that, and we can okay that. Pivot table already. Yeah, I'm not changing anything. Okay. Okay. Pivot table name. Oh, I see. Okay. It doesn't want me to give it this name. Okay. Total. What other name can we give it if I'm not allowed to give it total sales? Because this total sales already appears on here. So there is a kind of a clash there.
Sales. You can call it sales. Sales.
Sales. Let's see if it will let us do sales. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for that. And we can see a 1,000 separator there. So that looks a little cleaner. Okay. There's quite a few arrangements that we can do here. Let me see if I can get this done here, where you can, okay, I just clicked on here, right? Right-clicked to bring this menu here. And I just want to see if we can, where, again, I could have formatted here, format cells, or I could have done number formatting. The last time when I said formatting cells and number format, the difference between them, this is where it actually exists, not in the Excel sheet itself, okay? If I did a format cell here, it will format the cell. But if I just do a number format, it will actually format the number. That's where that difference, comes in handy. And then you can refresh your pivot table here, summarize values by. Again, if I did not want to, do my calculation the way, that dialog box I opened just now, if I didn't want to do anything on there, I could have just right-clicked. And so there's 2 different ways to do it, or even many more that we don't know yet. But yeah, at the moment we are on sum, we've got sum, count, average. If what I was asked for was average sales, I'll be doing average. Max, that's maximum sales, minimum sales, and, other things like that. Show value as is also very important, because it could help us. Say what we were asked to do was show value as a percentage of the grand total, okay? Percentage of the column total. So the total we have here, what percentage is each one of the sales that each customer name has, okay? We can easily see that. At the moment, it says no calculation. Let's see each one of them very quickly, actually. Let's see. So you see, some stakeholders want to see things in terms of percentage, okay? So 0.34%, okay, is what that is saying. Let's look at the total. If the total is 1, okay, it's actually 100%. So that's actually true, okay? So some are not even up to 1% of the total sales that we have here, okay? Some are just a bit more than 1, okay? But we must remember that we've got quite a lot of them. We've got as high as 8.67%, okay? So that could help some people to understand things better than just looking at the figures. So it's a good way to compare our data, okay? Percentage of column, let's see the difference. There's no difference in it, it's the same thing, okay? Percentage of row total, okay, so that doesn't make any difference because each row is being compared to itself, okay? So, and so on, and so forth. We can play around with this. Difference from percentage, different from running total in, so it's what you are asked for that will determine what you are doing with this patch, to be honest. Nothing much to show here, I don't think. Okay, let's go back to what we had. No calculation is what we had. So we will leave this like this so that we can have a bit of a move on. The next question will determine what we do next. Okay. Do we have any questions so far? Please unmute and let me know if what I'm doing is clear or not. Are we still there?
Yeah, I want other people to talk. That's why I'm silent.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Quiet so that other people can talk. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Please, so let's have response so that we can carry on a little bit more.
We're here.
We are here. How is it going? Is it making sense?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. All right. Then we have average sales split by employee first name. We need average sales, and we need it to be split by employee first name. Okay. So again, we go back to our entity relationship diagram and see how that relationship works. Because at the moment, I'm very sure we don't have anything on our other details, anything to do with employees, not even here at all, okay? But on the others, we've got an employee ID, so we're going to repeat that step. Let's look at it from this point. So from the employees, we need their first name to come on here, okay? But it's going to make that journey from here into these others first, and then into other details. By the time we repeat these steps a lot, then how to do lookups, maybe we'll use another kind of lookup, to be honest, that after we have grabbed the concept of VLOOKUP very well, there's other VLOOKUPs that we can do, okay? So that we understand the other ones, so that would be a good one. All right. So by the time we do as many as possible, looking up our data will not really be a problem in Excel anymore. We'll have as much understanding of it as possible. Now let's go. Let's do this last one, and then we can go rest. So we are moving from employees, we are moving data into other details. From one, we are going into other, sorry. From one, we are going from one into many. So that's our one to many, okay? And since we have employee ID here, that's not like, it's a must. I just like it to be like that so I can see and compare, okay? So again, let's do a little bit more of the VLOOKUP. Okay, so please unmute and let's do this together. Not just one person, please. Let's all unmute and do this. We should be used to it by now. Equals VLOOKUP. Talk me through, please. What am I doing?
Employee ID.
So, which is, are we on the first one? Yes, employee ID, which is this. Thank you, comma.
Go to the employee table.
Employees table. And then we pick it up. Thank you. Okay, comma.
Like you scroll back down with the sidebar that, so that we can see the whole table.
Yeah.
So we are looking for, what are we looking for?
It says the first name.
First name. So that's column 3.
Column 3. Okay, so we can put this back here, 3.
And we need the exact match, which is 0.
And then we can close it. Thank you very much, sir. And we have their first names here. So first name. Okay, all right. And then we'll need to move this first name into here very quickly. Let's quickly do that. Okay, so equals VLOOKUP again. Now I look up value
Order
will be the order ID, because that's what's linking this table together, comma, and our table is this one,
We select the whole table.
the whole table, okay, comma, and it's the, what's the column index of
1,
it?
2, 3, 4, 5.
Number 5. Yeah. So 5, comma 0.
The exact match. Yeah.
Okay. And here we go. And here we have it. So first name.
Is the employee first name?
Yeah, employee's first name. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be, shouldn't we name it employee first name?
We can do,
Is it-
yeah, we can do to make it more relatable, so to say. So we can just add employee there.
Thank you.
So employee, let's just finish it up. Employee first name. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And we need the average average sales that's split by that. So that's something we can actually quickly do. Okay. I'm just going to copy this pivot table here and place it here so that okay, and then we can change things up on here. Okay, so we've got customer first name, which we can change. You know, we don't need the customer first name anymore. We need the employee first name. Okay, we haven't refreshed that because we've just brought a new column in, this column 3, we changed it and we have not refreshed. Who can remind me on how to refresh very quickly, please? How do we refresh our pivot table?
We can right click.
You can right click.
And we click on refresh. Yeah.
Right click on refresh. Okay, and here we have it immediately. Okay, immediately that changed. Thank you very much for that, sir. Okay, and then so we've got we can change this to employee first name so that we don't make a mistake there. Employee first name. There we go. Okay, and what we have here at the moment is total sales. Okay, is the sum. Okay, and we were told to find the average, not the total. Okay, so let's change that to average very quickly. There's different ways that we can do that. But summarize value by is a quick one. So let's average that. Okay, and we have average of total sales. Okay, average of total sales. Okay, and that's, you know, our figure. Okay, we will get to the point where we actually draw out the charts for each table. You know, I believe that it's all part of what we are asked to do here. If not, we'll do it ourselves. Okay,
Quick,
we can
quick question.
Yes, please.
Why is that grand total showing 628?
Why is that grand total showing 628? Because it's also an average. It's not a total. It's like the total averaged between these how many people, because remember that average is normally you add them up and you divide by how many you are adding up. So let's try and quickly add these up, you know, and divide by how many these are and see if it's 628, just to validate that, because that's a very good question. If we can quickly do that math, that would be helpful. Thank you.
What if you put the crossover put the cursor from 738 to, will it work?
Oh, what have I done? Put the what?
Cursor, just drag it to 646.
Yeah.
Is it showing anything under the sheet? No?
No, it won't. Oh, actually it does. Some here. Some here, 5,000.
No, the average. What's the average showing there?
Average 643 here.
So this is 628.
So let's investigate what this 628 means. Yeah. That would be, let's try and be doing our assignment. So it's all part of the learning that helps.
The additions, yeah.
Yeah, please. It is very important. So let's investigate why this is 628. I'll also work on it, and we can pick it out from there tomorrow. I'm so sorry that we've run out over our time. We should be here just for 30 minutes, but I think we'll do better. We should do better henceforth, no matter how much we are drawn into it. People need to rest. So, but thanks everyone for making it. Let me know if there is any question at this point. Any question, please, at this point?